in the 50s and the 60s, we had nurturing institutions because we had the best and the brightest. We had segregation, we had the best and the brightest faculty, we had the best and the brightest athletes, we had the best and the brightest students. And nurturing meant putting a foot up their butts when they did not do right. Nurturing does not mean just saying, oh, you're doing fine. That's blowing smoke up your butt. Now, if you confuse that with the nurturing, which means getting you competitive as you would your own child. What did you do when you saw your own child go astray? You straighten them out.
And you're right, but maybe that's something that we need to look at from the higher level, because I don't know if we have those same types of.
Well, now this is where I wanted to respond to the question, because when you talk about HBCUs, you need to have a historical context. You cannot look at what you see today,
Of course.
and think that you understand the context. People sweated blood to build these institutions. They wanted an education. And the people who took advantage of those education, it changed their lives and their children like forever. My grandparents went to HBCUs, and all 8 children of theirs went to HBCUs, and I went for my first degree to one, and it's not the HBCU, it's what we've allowed to happen in them.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
All right?
That's
It's
my
what
point.
we've allowed. Letting people come to classes without reading, are you out of your mind?
I thought I was.
No, I'm in all sincerity, when you have low expectations and students mistake, you think they're being nice to you because they let you get away with stuff that they know good and well that this is not going to work. They wouldn't let their own kids do that. And when we sit by silently and let people smile, what was that song? Smiling Faces? And act like it's all right. It's not the HBCU or nurturing. It's what we've come make that to be accepted as.
But I also think that comes from.
I got a question for y'all. All right, my name is Eduardo Curry. I'm a senior here at South Carolina State, criminal justice major. Is it that y'all don't see it as a challenge to you as professors? Because this is the same amount of time as we're in class here, they're in class at USC. Is our curriculum that different? For y'all not to teach us the same stuff? For us not to have the same outcome and the same, grades and the same things that they have at USC? I mean, because to me, I would say it's also a challenge to professors and y'all, because if we're not having good grades, that's a reflection upon you also.
Oh, no.
Let's down. Every as to us as a student. Every trigger. I mean, I understand. But my thing is, are we not the same people? Are we just not as bright as them? Everything is the student fault.
As an adjunct professor, I'm gonna tell you now, I'm not gonna accept anything less than the best. When I was a classroom teacher, and Carol can tell you, I taught him when I was 12. That was a joke, y'all. I do not accept more any less than what I know you can do. I think the problem has come within the school system. You all have been pampered, and your expectations have been lowered because, we can't give them zeros. I'm not
into the classroom with a balance of expectation and nurturing. And I think that that comes from each teacher's, frame of reference or, background or whatever. There's an expectation that has to be met. And I tell my students all the time, I'll see you in passing, how you doing, Miss Addison? But if she doesn't do the work, she knows that she's gonna fail. So there's a balance, and each professor is gonna have to look at it from that perspective. I want my students to be able to, in the area of communications and public speaking, to compete with students from USC and Duke and Payne and any other school. So I think that there must be a balance there in terms of nurturing, because as Dr. Jasper pointed out, we're dealing with a different generation of students. We can't, there are certain litigious things that are going on now. We can't flunk certain number of students. We gotta have this student in our class when we know that they're not gonna succeed. So there are so many different variables that exist that did not exist back during the, in the 1960s.
And I think everybody in my family was Asian. Okay, and my entire family was South Carolina State. But I think it was more so because there were limited places we could go to school, there was a desire to get an education. I asked students the first day of class, why are you here? Some students tell me, because my mama said I had to be here. So if I don't have the kind of time nor the kind of patience to make you want to learn, because you're paying for this education. And the students who want it, they come to class, they participate, they do the work. You have some students, they come when they want to. So guess what? I grade when I want to.
Exactly.
It's just
Balance.
that simple.
Balance.